Sports Buffet's back after a little hiatus. Me, Quiet Giant, Matt's back in the building. Sports Buffet number 17. Tonight, I have on this bad boy right here, baby. And Matt can attest because he was actually in the building tonight for Knicks Heat. Knicks were down, I think, 8-10 or something like that. You were just telling me. Man, they really locked that in good on that T-shirt. Holy
Yeah.
That's like a mummy.
I'll get it. I might have ripped it, honestly, just then. No, we're good.
Was that a successful toss, or was that because you've got an insider edge on a hype team?
Yeah, insider. I've never, not catch it. Didn't catch it, but hey.
That's pretty solid. I mean, like
fresh tee.
Yeah. What is XL, double XL?
L.
Oh, that's
large.
actually not bad. I usually have. That's my biggest gripe with T-shirt tosses is majority of the time, even if a normal person catches it, it's gonna be like an adult or someone who catches it. They're gonna give it to a kid. Those things are usually like a double XL or like a triple XL, and it's like an unnecessary logo, and it usually says some corny shit underneath it.
Yeah, it's usually, what's weird too is the Knicks don't do this, but a lot of the sports teams have like a doctor's office that sponsors it on the fucking left sleeve or whatever. It's like, all right, man, go to this chiropractor here.
Yeah, that was only I'm a big fan of stadium giveaways. I like I'm huge on bobbleheads. Like
you are.
Stadium giveaway bobbleheads. If anybody's going to a game and they're giving away a stadium giveaway bobblehead, make sure to send it to me. But yeah, usually it's like a calendar or a gnome. Yeah, like gnomes are a big one. Who's that, Harvey?
Harvey, yeah.
Wow.
My buddy was saving this for like 3 years and finally sent it in the mail like a week ago to me.
I actually had a boy at the Mets who blessed me. He sent me. They gave away a 1986. It was Jesse Orosco, I think, got the final out bobblehead.
That's a sick one. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
He's like pointing up or like doing something like looking up. And he sent it to me in the box.
Yeah, because when he struck the batter out to win the World Series, he threw his glove up.
Yes. Yeah. And then like he was like he got down on two knees, right, or something.
It was like.
Yeah, I have that back home in New York, but that's actually one. And if I were to sell stuff on eBay, I'd make a killing. But one, I'm lazy and like,
but
I know.
Your friend is very kind though, because he could have sold that shit for a lot of money.
Yeah, that one was super exclusive. But the Mets are awesome with their giveaways. They do a ton of dope bobbleheads, and their bobbleheads, they usually tend to be higher valued because like it'll be like Syndergaard or something. And is that Thor?
Yeah, yep.
But they'll put him in like the Thor outfit and
yeah.
Whereas like the Yankees, they'll just do like Bernie Williams and it'd just be like him with like a bat in his hand or like something super boring.
Well, it's like we talked about when we went to the Yankee game last year. We had the Giancarlo Stanton just jogging. It's like,
oh yeah,
put a bat in his hand, man. He hits 55 bombs a year. What are we doing? Like, and we got him hustling down the line trying to beat out a grounder.
That's such a good point. And you and our friend Bronx can probably attest because you saw me in straight bobblehead mode, which was like, we hadn't seen each other in probably, I don't even know how long it was, but it was like we hadn't seen each other in a minute, and we met up for beers beforehand, and we were all just chilling, posting, having a good time. I think it was like, a diesel ass 16-ounce beer for like $4 and like, and we all know that like you go into a stadium and a beer is gonna be like $1 million. So like I'm with Bronx first, or I'm with you first or something, and we're just chilling, and I'm like, yo, yeah, this is great, blah blah, but we gotta get in the stadium, man. Like fuck all this other bullshit.
Yeah, I think you just like 2 minutes into seeing each other, you're just like, you gonna finish that soon? Like, God damn it, I'm 2 sips in, but yeah, I'll finish it if you want.
And you were pretty optimistic, but our other friend Bronx wasn't optimistic that we were going to get the bobblehead because the line was pretty diesel. We ended up getting it, but But I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about the stadium bobbleheads. It's like, I don't know why bobbleheads stuck. Why I like them so much, but like I don't know if it's the thrill of like just making sure that I get one or whatnot. But no other giveaway does it for me like that. But like some people like gnomes, some people like they give away rings. Some teams do some cool stuff, but I think the Mets are pretty unique. The Cardinals do some cool stuff. Has there ever been a giveaway that you've seen that you're like, I might get there a little early for that one or something like that?
No, honestly, no. I'm trying to think of all the sports teams from, not just baseball. Just baseball typically, I feel like, does have the best giveaways.
Yeah.
Like basketball, I feel like they got to try a little more. They'll just put like a fucking towel on your seat.
Yep.
That like the guy to 3 over to the right probably took already.
Yeah.
And he's got like a backpack full of Knicks towels. Or they'll give away those like thunder sticks, and that's it. Really.
Thunder sticks are whack. Sometimes they've been doing recently like it's like this bracelet that lights up. You ever seen that? But like you don't have control of when it lights up, like the arena does.
Yeah.
So like you just have this random bracelet that's like lighting up, and then you leave the arena and it doesn't even work anymore.
Yeah, you just like raise your hands up, I guess, like the free throw, and it just like blinks at the player. I don't know.
But low-key, the Thunder Sticks used to be the shit because I used to go to New Jersey Nets games out in Jersey, and if you sat behind the basket, that was like you were going to get them, but only during the second half, I think, because that's like when, the game really matters. The first half is like no one's really – it's like the first half of a baseball game. You're just chilling. It's pretty boring. And then like the sixth inning on is when the action starts taking place. People start, chanting and like really like – start yelling a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't hate the Thunder Sticks at all, honestly, because it's like a reason to get rowdy a little bit. Like you could give like a 30-year-old man 2 Thunder Sticks, and you gotta slam those shits together.
Yeah,
so I kind of like them.
Yeah, the Thunder Sticks are cool, and like I don't know what it is, man. I'm just such a hoarder. Like I feel like any giveaway, but like I'm not a fan of the gnomes at all. Like what a garden gnome. What even is the purpose of that? Like a gnome in general? Like, does it go in your garden as some like?
Nah. Well, I mean, no. It's what's weird is like I thought this was a bobblehead for the longest time. Even just now, it's not. Its head doesn't move.
Yeah.
But this ain't. This is essentially almost like a bobblehead with no bobble.
I know, but it's just like I don't know what it is about that. It's sort of like. I don't know, it like creeps me out. It's like, why is his head look like a duty, like beanie cap?
It's like he looks very comfortable. He looks very snug.
He looks cozy. It looks like it's like a nice winter cap, but like it also like I'm curious. I think a gnome, I don't know if a garden gnome is different from just a regular gnome. But I know garden gnomes are like obviously notorious for like planting, and it goes in your garden as like I don't know what the meaning behind a gnome is.
Yeah, I think that's what this is for, but I think every fan is pretty much putting that up near their bobbleheads, not in their garden.
Yeah.
Like it's meant to go in your garden, but people aren't doing it.
Yeah, but why? See, I don't get why that's the giveaway. Like if you're going to do a Matt Harvey gnome, just make a Matt Harvey bobblehead.
I kind of like I kind of like the gnome over the hat, though. He would be doing the same thing. He would just have a baseball hat on. So I kind of, a little beanie.
Yeah, but that's my question is what is a gnome? Is it like an elf?
Yeah, you've never had yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know how to describe it.
That's what I'm saying. What's a gnome? Like,
no one's questioned me on this before. I don't
know. No one's questioned me. I like what you did there.
Yeah, see?
No, but like
it's like a dwarf though. Like it guards the Earth's treasures underground. That's why it stands in your garden.
Is that true?
Like a watchdog. Yeah.
Whoa. That makes sense.
I didn't make that up. I read it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It didn't look like you read your phone for a second. I thought you pulled that one out of like the knowledge bank.
Oh, yeah, I did.
No, but now it makes sense. A gnome is like the person who watches, like the plants and the gardens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. All right, they still creep me out a little bit, but
You ain't saying no to it.
Low key, I would take it, but like I wouldn't. I don't really have many. I don't think I have any gnomes in my collection.
In your collection, yeah.
But yeah, like, bobbleheads for me have they pulled apart relationships with my wife's best friend. I think I've told this story.
I remember that, yeah.
And we were beefing over a bobblehead because they didn't want to leave early enough. So, yeah, bobbleheads for me. That's my my guilty pleasure. But I wanted to ask you, because you were at the Knicks game, and you had two different experiences from the game. So, you started the game sitting all the way up top.
Yeah.
And then you, second half, got to sit very close. I wanted to ask you what the difference, like, obviously there's a difference of sitting all the way, 3 rows from the top and 3 rows from the court. How different is that different for people that have never really sat that close to, an NBA basketball game?
I had two, instant thoughts. The first one, the women are so much prettier on the first floor.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
We're up with some monsterish looking people in general, up in the rafters.
Yeah.
Anything goes. We had a whole row to ourselves. We just sat. Me and my friend just sat 3 seats apart, just talking, laying up,
feet up, all that shit.
Yeah,
right?
Feet up. Honestly, where we were sitting, we didn't even know the score of the first half because I'm trying to look.
Oh, I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah.
Couldn't even see it, bro. I'm I'm not gonna look up
my
phone for the score because that's just stupid. I'm at the game, no view of the score.
That's what gets me so mad. Sorry to interrupt. Is they build $1 billion arena, and there's still sight lines where you can't see the scoreboard, and for $1 billion, everything should be perfect. Everything. There should have been layouts on every single angle of the arena of this is what this looks like. This is what this looks like. What happens if this happens? For $1 billion, I redo my kitchen, and it's if one fucking tiny thing is off, I'm no, you guys didn't do the job correctly, and we're going to court about this.
Yeah, and I think maybe they should offer the people that sit up there God, I knew I was getting moved down. I'm not trying to sound pompous or anything, but I never. If you told me, hey, I got these seats up here, you want to go to the game? I'd be no, I'll just stay home, man. Because even if I can see the fucking board, I'm watching it on the screen as opposed to watching the ants down there. I don't understand people that go to the game to sit up there, maybe just to go out and do something and the environment. I think they need to have side screens. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a mini iPad or something instilled into the walls that show you a really crazy angle that no one else in the arena can see.
Yeah,
something literally on the floor.
Yeah, well, they should have it in every freaking seat, man. It's they make so much money. How hard is it, an airplane, to put a little TV behind the seat or something like that, where it's you can't spill beer on it, it's indestructible, and for $1 billion, you could buy a little 10-inch TV to put on every single seat. That is such a different experience from being at home.
Yeah, that was my thoughts on how it can change.
Yeah,
was do better with any little bit helps. I don't know, give them some free popcorn or something for sitting up there. So
have you ever seen on StubHub? I think a lot of stadiums this happens. They'll sell a ticket, but it's an obstructed view or behind the pole or you can't see. You sit in right field or certain spots of right field or left field at a stadium, and you can't see what happens at the warning track of a baseball.
Yeah, there's a few stadiums like that. I think Fenway has that.
Wrigley, I think, has a couple spots.
Barclays for hockey for the Islanders had a whole section where you apparently couldn't see at all. And then after a year, they were all right, we're not going to sell tickets in that section. That's not cool. It's oh, yo, you think, man?
Oh.
You're just getting all these suckers the first year of the Barclays. It's you just hear horror stories oh, no, I was behind the pole when I went. It's come on, man. So they black out that section now, which is good. But, yeah, I mean, I really don't like, and again, I'll sound like uppity or whatever. I've always like have gotten hooked up through friends. Not that I like pay a ton of money for tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've always gotten something where it's like, all right, I'm gonna have some decent seats. You know, that's always how it's been, which is good. It's awesome. Like it's.
How do you feel when you get? How do you feel? Because I hate doing this because I'll sit up top at a baseball game. I'll just buy the cheapest ticket or something like that. And it'll even be like Tampa Bay or something like that. And I'll like move. And I've rarely moved down, but like a stadium that's completely empty, maybe I'll move down to, you know, field level or something like that. And even like the 8th inning, I'm like, someone's coming. Like this, I'm in someone's seat, and I'm just gonna have to go through that interaction of like, oh, my bad, and then you got to have a plan B, backup plan. Are you ever thinking, even if you get that insurance from a friend or something, that like this guy's gonna show up with some dope ass chick, and I'm gonna look like a fucking lame having to find a backup seat?
Yeah, it sucks, man. It happens way too often to me, honestly. I
hate that feeling, man.
It happens way too often. It's a bad feeling. I felt that today because our boy Dre hooked us up, and he had me sitting really like right behind the Knicks bench.
You were close.
Yeah, for pregame.
Yep.
And he was like, "Just stay here." Like the lady said, like, it's all good. Like, and if someone comes, just leave. And once you get that vibe, just leave and dip out.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man. I don't want to just be looking behind my back the whole time. What if I have to pee?
Yep.
I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, sure enough, we got the boot. The lady grabbed my arm, actually.
What?
Like, yeah, it was. And then she, like, ended up apologizing because she didn't realize, like, oh, yeah, I said you could sit here.
Oh.
Right? Like, we had that agreement. I'm like, yeah, you grabbed my arm and said, oh, you don't belong here. I'm like, yeah, no duh. But, yeah, I grew up, like, my whole life, I feel like, doing that, honestly.
I know.
Like, I don't know what your experience was going to games as a kid, but, like, that's all my dad did back in the day.
Yeah, but it's just, like...
It was crazy. It was like, yo, clearly we're not going to be able to sit on the dugout the whole time.
Yeah.
So we move. We get booted. We go back 3 sections. That's it.
But
and we do this game until like we just like end up at our very own seats.
Exactly.
Like, how embarrassing is this? And I'm 8 years old, Dad. Like, what are we doing?
But does he give you, when you sit in the butter seats, like the best ones? Is he like, all right, here's what happens if they show up? We're going, like, are you constantly looking for 2 open seats and like, or is it just like, let's just chill and then whatever? Because like, I can't sit like that. Like, I gotta either, if I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, there's 2 there just in case somebody comes. But if not, I'm just going back to my original shits.
Yeah, so pregame, like, that's what we were doing, man. I was just looking at it. I was like, what are options B if these people come around? Like, you know what? Option B is, like, me going up to the 400s.
Yeah.
And
it's easy for the person who tells you to stand around because they're gone. Like, it's like...
yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're not the ones that are getting told, hey, buddy, get out of my seat.
Yeah, like, they're like, hey, stay there. Yeah. Just stay there the whole time. You're good. Yeah. They don't give a shit. Like... My boy works for the Mavs, and I was in Dallas, and I texted him like a day before the game. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at the game. If you've got time to say what up, whatever." And I saw him standing down at the court like before the game, super early, like nobody in the arena, so like security doesn't care and stuff like that. So I was like, "Yo," he was like, "Oh, come here," and he was like, "Just chill here, just chill here." I was like, "Oh, dope," and like he's standing next to me, and we're talking, and he's got his credential and suit on,
yeah,
and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to just go to the other side. I got to do something real quick. But just stay here. You're good. You're good." I'm like...
And then you're just like...
Yeah, like, then, like, the arena's starting to fill up. Security's starting to, like, really, like, starting looking at people. And he's not there anymore. And, like, the security guard's now standing there who wasn't there before is like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, damn, man, you can't just tell me I'm good. Like, if you didn't really, like, bless me with any pass or, like,
I know.
ticket, like...
You get the anxiety, like, should I say his name?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Should I throw his name out there? But then I don't want to get him in trouble.
No.
Like, so that's what I went through a little bit today. My second instant reaction, like, and I've had this before because I've had, some decent seats, is like, these dudes are just monsters, man. They're so big. They're so big.
Yeah.
Like, it's unreal. Like, I just looked at them and I was like, their bodies are all gonna hurt when they're older.
It's crazy.
And that was one of my first thoughts. Like, I was just like, man, what they're putting their bodies through and how big their bone structure is and everything. I'm like, they have to hurt when they're older.
It's wild to see with like NFL players when they're announcing. I think the player I remember it the most with is, and Michael Strahan does it too with his fingers, but it was the guy on the Rams. I think it was like Torrey Holt or something like that. He was like doing some announcing, and he like showed his fingers, and it was like this finger. I don't know if you ever seen it, but like this finger.
I think I did.
Went like that way.
Yeah, they were all pointed different directions. It looked like ET, man.
But like, imagine like catching a Brett Favre pass for just like one season. Like, like in practice, in training camp, in games, in pregame, in postgame if he wants to get some extra reps in. Like, that guy throws the ball like 80 miles per hour. It's ridiculous. And doing that for a whole season. And imagine being like Donald Driver or something who played with him for like 400 seasons. Your hands are going to be broken. Like, you just can't catch that many. Yeah. Like, a football is hard as shit.
And just coming across the middle all the time, too. I feel like Driver always did that. As opposed to the long ball, you kind of, you get that loft in it. But if you're coming across the middle all the time, like Driver did, and like guys like Edelman with Brady, and they're zipping it in there, and you're just like this the whole time, just dude, your hands are taking a beating, man.
Dude, did you see Joel Embiid's finger the other day?
Yeah, that was so gross. Oh, that was a great transition. That was so gross.
Yeah, that was disgusting. And like TV, for whatever reason, like it's like they can't say shit, they can't curse, they can't say damn, they can't talk about Harvey Weinstein, like they can't talk about all these controversial things. But yet when like someone tears their ACL, or when someone does this with their finger, or like the craziest, most disgusting thing happens on the screen, they'll manage to show 40,000 replays, zoom in with every single angle, and like there's no repercussions for showing us like the most disgusting thing. It's like, oh, I think his bone popped out of his leg on that one. Let's take another look at that one and make sure that was his bone that popped out. Yeah, like they can't say like any other like anything controversial, but they could show the most disgusting shit on TV that you're like, how can they show that and get away with it?
Yeah, let's see it from this angle, and then let's see it from the sky cam, and it's like, all right, I get it. I couldn't even watch the video. I don't even know how he did it. I had like a picture on my Instagram feed, and I just swiped.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't look at stuff like that.
I can't look at that. And then also, I don't get how – I get that these guys are professional athletes, but, like, is their pain threshold that much stronger than ours where, like, they can just pop that shit back into – like, if that happened to me, I'm dead. Like, I'm done. Like, it's like chop my finger off. You're going to just crack it back into place? Yeah, like, good luck. You're no shot. Like, we're putting a cast on it the way it is, and we're going to let it heal back to its normal position. Because there's no shot that my finger like this, you're going to snap it back into place.
That's what I think about a lot, too, is with pro athletes, is like how high is their pain threshold compared to like a normal person? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like because that's when like I'll get hurt the most. Like if I'm crazy sore after a workout and the next day I'm like, nah, I'm not skipping a workout, man. Like these guys can do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but would they take the day? I don't know. Like, it's like, do they have a crazy high pain tolerance? Did he play after that?
I think so. I think he put a bandage on between two fingers and continued to play.
So yeah, he's got better. Yeah. There's the answer right there. He's got a higher pain tolerance than I'm out. I know for a fact I'm taking the night. You got night.
I'm out for the rest of the season. Like I'm not like my finger might be amputated after that game if that should happen. Like I think I'm watching the football game now, and that the Bears receiver who like made that catch on in the end zone. He's like a tight end, Zach Miller, I think his name was.
Yep.
The guy was like walking like. Obviously, it was months and months later with like splints in his leg, but it's like I'm not even putting up a fight. Like, just amputate my leg. Like, there's no shot that I'm going through all that shit to like try and make it back on the field.
Like, it's over, man. I had a good run.
Granted, if anyone had never seen that, I think it was Zach Miller made like a phenomenal catch and like his legs stiffened up in the back of the end zone or something. and they didn't even give him the touchdown for that shit.
That's what's messed up.
But it was clearly like one of like those. It was like clearly a touchdown, but it was like before like the Des Bryant rule, where it's like you gotta complete it. The guy caught it, got 2 feet down, held it, and then like his whole like almost had to get his leg amputated, and they took the touchdown away.
All that for nothing.
So fucked up, man. Referees. All right. So sorry to continue. It's probably easier to talk to females up in the 400 levels than it is down at the 100 level, being that they're better looking down on the 100 level, though.
I don't know. I do a pretty good job of acting like I belong in the 100
Oh, really?
Level. Like,
so you don't dress. Yeah. So what level do you dress for when you go to the game? Are you dressing like you're sitting in 100s, or because there's dressing to sit in 400 and there's dressing to sit in 100?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dressing in a suit and tie ever, but I'm dressing like streetwear. I'm dressing 100 style, man. Like, oh yeah, that guy's got a little bit of coin in his pocket.
But when you're in 400, are you like, oh, I just picked up some cheap tickets to come see the game? Like, because then you're a little overdressed for 400 level, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, 400, it's like...
400, you could rock some sweats. Who even
cares what people think of me here?
Yeah, I guess so.
I might as well just die here anyway. Yeah. What's it matter? Like,
yeah, I can't even see the scoreboard.
Yeah. When I started bending my neck down to try to look up to see the scoreboard, because I had no idea who was winning the basketball game, that's when I started texting some friends and said, all right, this is stupid. Like...
Yeah, I know those seats exactly because I used to have to like walk to the section. I was like, how do you see shit from this? Like, you can't even see the court at some points. It's like you gotta like duck your head and like, yeah, it's the bridge gets in the way.
$46 for a ticket.
It's still, I fucking feel like a lot for.
It's a lot. Yeah, I think it's a lot. I thought it should have been 20. There wasn't anyone there in my section. I had a whole row to myself.
So you're in 100s. When do you start to feel comfortable in 100? Like, all right, maybe some people have seen me here long enough. They might think this is actually my seat.
Well, for basketball, third quarter, man, I'm like, yo, if you're coming to the game in the third quarter with like 9 minutes left, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So that's when I get cozy and start putting, I put my arms around both chairs.
Then you start looking at other people like, I don't think that's that guy's seat over there. Like, what does that guy do?
I saw exactly, dude. I start looking around. The row in front of me cleared out a little bit at the start of the fourth, and I thought about just hopping one down right in front of the security. Said, let me get really on the wood here. I thought about it, and I was like, all right, I'll chill. Like.
Because that's getting close. Good. I don't know if you were on the side that Dolan sits on, but he sits baseline.
Yo, so I saw Dolan on the way out.
Really?
Yeah, I saw Dolan on the way out. He looks like a garden gnome.
Yeah, he's a garden gnome.
He's a garden gnome for sure. He's a garden gnome. Yo, they should have a Jim Dolan garden gnome night.
That would be phenomenal. If I was the Nets, I would do that, just like to troll the shit out of him, and he would get so mad.
But
did he look happy? Did he look sad?
He looked rushed, like he was rushing it out.
Oh, okay.
No one was heckling him either. I don't even think anyone noticed him.
Yeah.
Some people had filed out already. It was the end of the game, but he was towards my side a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these other kids, they asked my buddy to take a picture with some big ass dude, and my buddy was having a hard time getting the guy in frame. So he kept backing up to me. The guy was so big. My buddy was trying to fit 3 of them in the picture.
Wait, so your friends wanted to get into the picture with, you didn't know was he a former player or something?
So it ended up being the GM of the Heat. He's huge.
Oh.
No disrespect. No,
is he huge, like wide? Because I know.
Yeah.
I know who he is. A white guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he is. I was like, why you want a picture with him? Like,
so your boy asked to take a picture with him?
No, 2 guys near us asked my buddy. They were like, yo, can you take a picture for us? I'm like, why do you want to take a picture?
I know exactly who he
looks like head of security or something.
He's a big guy.
Huge. My buddy was like leaning into me, like just like, yo, I can't get him in there. He was side talking to me. He's like, I can't get him in this fucking photo, man. I'm gonna chop off his arm.
Can you imagine he said that to him? He's like, sorry guys, the guy's too big. I can't get him in this photo.
Yo, when my friend gave the phone back to them, he said something. He's like, I was trying to get him in, man. Like, I was like, bro, you don't know if that's his uncle or something, you know? Because I still didn't know who he was at that point. They're like, oh, no, yeah, that's the GM of the Heat. I was like, oh, okay, all right, good.
Yeah, supposedly that guy is like, he was like the money guy who made the whole LeBron, Bosh, and Wade situation work initially. I think his name is like Andy something, or
okay.
But he was the one who like figured out, all right, he's got to take this amount of money, and like made all that happen so they could sign all three guys.
So he's a smart dude.
He's a smart dude, and he gets a lot of love in Miami, and he walks around like all these. Like, I remember when I used to work the Knicks games, he would walk around like he was a shit, and people were like, who's this fucking guy? Like,
yeah, he had a lot of people had love for him.
Yeah.
And the Heat fans came out in abundance, man. There was a ton of Heat fans. Yeah. Like, I didn't realize there were Heat fans like that. And, you know, they took over with a couple chants. All of them, for some reason, had on the retro teal jerseys. That none of them had on a regular fucking Heat jersey. Oh, really? Strange. But
yeah, I mean, like, Knicks-Heat rivalry goes back ages, man. But
it does. Yeah, Garden was rocking a little bit.
Yeah, I heard. I saw a tweet from Ian Begley that was like, you know, it was pretty loud in there tonight. That was a dope game to be at for you, man. Because, like, I mean, I know you're not a Knicks fan, but, like, even just that atmosphere of Knicks-Heat and, like, seeing the home team win is pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it just makes me laugh because going back to, like, when I do sneak down and start sitting in the hundreds for, like, a pretty long time, and then I see other people come down, and I'm like, look at this fucking guy. Like, come on, man. What are you doing? Like, that's not your seat, and you're going to sit in front of me?
They're going to ruin it for me.
No, but I'm not mad that they're going to ruin it for me. I'm just more salty that they're, like, sitting a little bit closer.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I'm not in my legit seat, but I know that they're not in their legit seat, too. And they get comfy right away. And I'm like, nah, man, I worked hard for this shit.
Yeah. Like,
don't just come down right now.
Trying to one-up me.
So, does that conclude the good seats versus bad? So,
yeah, I think so.
So, okay. Because I've never really sat too close at an NBA game. I've sat, like, 100 levels, but, like, third row is pretty good. But, yes, the eye candy is a little bit nicer down at the court. But put yourself in Miami down below, and you'd be having a field day. NFL, Ravens got upset, which was amazing. The Titans are just playing out of this world. And then watching right now, I just look at the freaking game, and the Seahawks are coming back now against the Packers. They were down pretty big. I think it was like 21-3. So it's 49ers would play the winner of this game, the Packers-Seahawks. And then it's Titans-Kansas City, and Kansas City was down 24-0. So it's been crazy. So what did you make of the NFL playoffs so far?
Exciting. A little unexpected this week.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to throw any kind of money down this week, it would have 100% been on the Ravens.
Yeah, that was a shocker, man.
Just a straight-up win. Like, that Titans defense, what they did to him, what they did to Jackson, it's like, I don't know if I could pick against them. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if
they did that to Lamar Jackson, and now they're going to play Mahomes, who is mobile too, but he's not Lamar Jackson.
It seems likely that they could turn that into like a dogfight type of game again, where it's like, and they just give the ball to Derrick Henry 30 times and have him run for 230 yards.
Dude, the last 3 games, like over 180 yards each game is like stupid. Like the guy. And then I saw that he's a free agent this year. Like, he's going to get – it's just funny how all these guys do this on their free agent year. Like, it's like obviously the games that matter the most, they just turn it on, and then he's just going to get paid a dick ton of money.
Yo, I look at him. I'm like, who would want to tackle him? I don't care if you're like a linebacker in the NFL. I get it. But, like, that's got to hurt to tackle a guy like that. He's that big.
That's why when he gets in the open field and it's like him and, like, a DB – it was yesterday. It was like him and Earl Thomas, and like he was just toying with him. He like stiff-armed him twice. There's the photo. Have you ever seen the one of him and Mark Ingram, like standing before? It's insane. Like the angle was obviously probably a little perfect too to like make it look like he's that much bigger. But the guy is he's fast, he's huge, and he's just like agile. It's incredible.
Yeah, he made Ingram look like a little kid in that photo.
Oh yeah, but like, has he's been beasting his whole career, or like did he just all of a sudden like get good?
He's always been good. This year has been his breakout year, his best year. Yeah. Thank God I drafted him in fantasy. So.
Oh, you had him?
That's why I won both leagues. Oh. So.
And then,
yeah, he's always been a good running back, and then this year he just turned it on.
So who do you got? You got we got KC versus Titans, and then I mean this game's uncertain. Rodgers is hobbling. I feel like every big game, players get injured.
Yeah, he's like on one foot now.
But it's like I don't know if it's like, you know who was notorious for this was D Wade would always just like randomly just start hobbling.
Yeah.
But then he'd finish the game dunking on somebody or something like that, and it's like
get a game winner.
Yeah, it's like don't hobble, don't hobble around. I don't want to see all that shit because you're still gonna play the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So,
in or out.
Depending on who wins this game, I think the Packers pull it out, and then they play Niners, which would be a good one. I'm going to go Titans, Niners, Super Bowl.
I'm going to do... Wait, aren't the Titans playing the Niners?
No, Niners would pay the winner of Packers, Seahawks.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. So I would do Titans Packers.
Titans Packers. I mean, I could see that too.
Titans Packers.
I just think the Niners have too much good. Like Garoppolo's too good looking. San Francisco's too big of a market. Like that guy is just like fucking perfect, man. Like how are you that good looking and just the top quarterback of like the most historic franchise team?
He's doing well in life.
It's like you can't get any better than what that guy has. Look at Rodgers taking off. Yeah. So I mean, I think if I were to swap places with anybody right now, it'd probably be Jimmy G.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's got it, dude. I would imagine he's single.
Yeah, I think he's single. He was like, there was TMZ photos of him like going on a date with like some porn star or something.
Yeah. Just living the life.
Yeah, shout out to Jimmy G.
But living in San Francisco, that's got to be fun. Like, young dude that is still a seasoned leader.
Yeah.
You know? So I still don't see him winning. I don't. He did make some mistakes that game.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing great.
He threw some picks. So I think, when you're talking about when it comes down to these bottom four teams, what teams don't make mistakes?
Yeah.
The way the Titans are playing right now, it's tough to pick against them.
Yeah.
They're hot. They're the hottest team by far.
They seem disciplined. Vrabel seems like he's just hitting all the right buttons.
Yeah. They're so disciplined, so well coached.
Yeah.
The Packers have a great defense and the best quarterback that is still in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
He's the best quarterback, regardless of, you could even put him against Russell Wilson right now, and he is the best quarterback in the playoffs right now. You got to pick him. So when you have those two teams, you got to figure like, all right, Niners with Jimmy G, like, yeah, they're good, but I don't know if they're on that level yet.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so you got Packers, Titans. I got, what did I say? Titans, Niners. Let's flip to college football real quick and give our predictions for I think we gave our predictions already, but since the game is tomorrow, Clemson versus LSU. Now, the game's in New Orleans, so it's going to be bananas, like how many LSU fans are going to be there. LSU has won, like, I don't know, I feel like the last 5 years in a row. I think LSU is too good, and it's just going to be so hard to beat them in the Superdome. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually trying to look at the lines right now because
LSU's got to be favored by like 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I gotta say, and like from what Vegas is saying too, is that pretty much everyone's just betting heavily on LSU.
Yeah.
That is the one reason why maybe I would pick Clemson. because Vegas, it's like
yeah, but this could be one of those that's like it's just straightforward, and it's just they just beat him down. But actually, come to think of it, Clemson's quarterback is no pushover either. The guy won a national championship.
Yeah, he's legit.
So he's got actually more experience than the other guy. Burrow is like the inexperienced one.
Yeah. I mean, right now the spread is 6 for LSU.
Oh, wow.
That, yeah. Over under 69.5 points.
That's a lot of points.
That is a lot.
It sounds like a lot, and it starts off pretty slow, but then those games usually it's like the end. It's just like touchdown, and it's just like turns into like 84 is like the points.
Yeah, when you do the math, what is it? It's like, all right, say the score is like 35-28. What is that? 45, 60.
I love following.
That's still under, but like, I don't know. Like, I could see it being like a 42-35 game.
Yeah, I guess that. But saying that even out loud sounds like a lot of points.
It's a high, yeah.
Because like you watch Kansas City game today, and I mean they scored a shit ton of points, but like it was like 48-28 at one point, and like that's still like you still are sweating, and it's like they scored 48 points.
I know, that's true. I don't know. I might be tempted to bet the under on that. 69.5 points.
Under is just such a scary bet because it's like you can't enjoy the game because
you can't. You can't.
Taking any under in sports betting is the worst bet of all time because it's just you sit there and you pray for drop passes. You pay for like you're just always sweating. It's like 14-7. You're like, oh, the other team's obviously going to score, so that makes it 28. And then someone's got to win the game, so it's like you're hoping for a field goal, and it's like
the running back gets the ball and runs for 7 yards, and you're cursing at the TV. Hey, it's first and 10, and he breaks off a 6-yard run, and you're just like, fuck, coming up, this is over, it's over, and they're not even anywhere near scoring. But you're right, you can't enjoy it at all, which is why it's like always better to bet the over. But 69.5 so much.
It is a lot.
Watch them just smoke that tomorrow.
I know, yeah.
And then you'll know that I bet it if that happens.
Like college football is funny because sometimes a freaking like first quarter could be like 21-14, and it's just already like what the hell is going on. That's why I used to have a site, and they used to have an in-game bet, and it was just money because it's like first commercial, if it was like 14-0, the line adjusts, and it's like you get a feel for the game. And they used to do NBA spreads too, and it was just like, that was the best bet ever. That was in-game bets. And then I think like my friend had an account, and I was like, "Do you got in-game bets?" And he was like, "Nah, they don't offer that shit." And I was like, "Fuck your site."
In-game bets are fun, man. I actually did it. I did it for free. I didn't even I got it off some app where I just did it for the World Series or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like really trying to predict everything that would happen. I found it fun, even though I was winning no money off it. Like
that would not be enjoyable for me at all.
No, because then it's like anyone who gets on base, like it's like under, the over under for hits is like 1.5.
Yeah. They used to have the first inning, like it would be runs plus hits plus like errors or something like that. And it would have to, it'd be like over 3 or something like that. And if they hit a home run, that's a run plus a hit. So that's 2 right there, and you're good money. I wanted to ask you, Super Bowl boxes. Are you in or out on Super Bowl boxes? And how much is the most you're paying for a Super Bowl box?
I turned down one invitation to do a Super Bowl box. It was like something stupid where we get like a group of 3 or 4 of us, and we pay like $300 each. I was like, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not.
But I also know a lot of people that have done those that have won like won big on those,
thousands of dollars.
Like I know maybe friends of friends that have won like 25 grand or something like stupid because they've been in like a $1,000 box or they've chipped in 500 each. So I mean those things are lucrative, and I feel like people actually do win those. Obviously someone's got to win those, but like. It's nice if you can get in on one of those, but sorry, what's your max that you're paying for a Super Bowl box? If you're even in or out on Super Bowl boxes.
Yeah, I'm always in. I'm not going to try to find someone with them, but if someone comes asking, I do 25. I don't.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I'm not. You know what it is, man? Like, I can't control it. I'd rather just bet it.
Yeah.
That way, if I win, I feel like a genius. It's more likely that you know what I mean. Like, I got
it's such a good feeling
chance
to like have a 4 and a 3, and then like see that shit hit, and then it's like I won my box, or like even winning a reverse or something like that, $50. Like, I'm contemplating hard right now on a $100 box.
Okay.
Like, I think if it was 50, I'd be in 100%.
Yeah.
But 100, I'm like really torn on like, do I want to spend $100 on a Super Bowl box?
You'd be so mad if you lose.
I know, but if it hits, it's like $2,500 or something like that for a quarter.
Yeah,
it's like
awesome.
it's some nice. It's a pretty penny.
That's tempting.
And
that
it's
is
like
tempting.
it keeps you in the game because you start thinking of all the scenarios of like, oh, if they get a safety right now, and that's usually what happens in the Super Bowl. It's always like the weirdest, like, it starts off with a safety or like a field goal, and it's like now all the numbers are fucked up, or they miss an extra point, or they go for 2 and don't get it.
I think it's fun. For this year, I might just be on the gambling side of it.
Yeah.
But you also got to determine what teams are going to be in it.
Yeah.
You got to see what teams are going to be in it. If you think you're not really going to watch, if you're not too hyped on watching the game, then go buy a box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to get hyped for it.
Yeah.
Like if the game alone is going to get you hyped in terms of the matchup, then maybe you don't need a box.
Yeah, and if it's like Titans Packers, Titans are going to score like 8 points. It's going to be weird because they're going to their defense is going to get like a safety.
Yeah.
Packers are going to go for 2. It's just going to be a weird game.
That's a good point, because also that means whoever won in the first quarter could very well win in the second, and it's gonna, it's gonna be dragged out, and you're gonna have 2 total winners out of the whole game, and that's what's trash to me. That's what I don't like about boxes. You could really have like one person win the whole thing last year.
Yeah. I want to ask you quickly on KD. Are you cool with him and his Twitter, jumping in randomly and, being super sensitive but acting like he's not super sensitive, saying he enjoys, the Twitter banner. But then when Kendrick Perkins makes a comment, that Russell Wilson is Mr. OKC, he gets all sour when, he's on Twitter saying that he doesn't get sour anymore.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, what'd I say, Russell Wilson?
I'm watching him too right now, so that's why I was like, "What?" Yeah, I keep doing this, Katie. You might as well. You know what I mean? Like, he had the burner account.
Yeah,
he's got thin skin. Might as well keep going with it. You know what I mean? I didn't mind the banter of him going back and forth with Perkins. I was like, all right, that's cool.
No, I like the banner, like going back with fans and this and that, but it's like, don't try and act like you don't care when clearly you care, and it's like oh, like you're telling people that you're acting like, oh, I do this for fun, I get enjoyment out of coming on Twitter and talking shit with people, but in reality it's because you're super sensitive and like maybe you're second guessing your decision of going to Brooklyn or something like that, and it's like you're insecure about your career, even though you won 2 finals and you're an MVP and all this shit. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it because it just shows how soft the guy is. And it just, like, it puts some clarity onto his decision going to Brooklyn to prove that he is soft and didn't want to take on that challenge of going to the Knicks.
So you're saying if you're gonna go on Twitter and you're gonna talk all this stuff, then just be about it 100% then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay. Just back yourself up. Just be like, yeah, no, I don't like when people speak about me, and I'm going to say what I ever. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
don't like comment on someone like, nah, I enjoy doing this. Like, I think it's funny. It's like, no, you really don't. Because you wouldn't be like so sensitive about all this shit. You'd actually really be getting enjoy. Like, when people say stuff to me on Twitter or something, just like, oh, Corn's a dummy, I legit laugh because I'm just like, that shit does not bother me at all. But I'm not like fighting with every single person who comments, like, but I also don't have the same platform as Kevin fucking Durant.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself if I were, ever to get hate like that, going on there and battling with people.
Really?
I could see it a little bit, and it wouldn't be very like mean spirited though. It'd just be like kind of like a roast session. It would be like kind of I'd turn it funny,
Yeah.
With him and Perkins, it's weird because like I feel like they were boys not too long ago. Like even Perkins had like the inside scoop on his free agency stuff. So it's weird. I think something happened behind the scenes, and I think that's what led Perkins to say what he said because I don't think he meant it. I don't think
it's just not true. I mean, he's not like Westbrook's clearly not better than Durant.
Right. And even Matt Barnes had a good point where he was just like, that was stupid to say because he's been the best player on every team he's ever been on, regardless of where he went. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And he basically called him out. Was like, don't get caught up by this media shit. Like you don't turn into one of those guys.
Yeah, which was pretty crazy because you could kind of see Perkins going that way.
100%.
Like he's gonna get on ESPN more.
Yep. He'll get on ESPN more. Richard Jefferson, they eat his they eat that guy alive. And anything he says, Rachel Nichols like laughing. Paul Pierce is supposedly like, that's why Chuck. Oh, dime. Aaron Rodgers just throws dimes, man.
So good.
Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq are just so OGs because it's just like they really say what they genuinely feel.
Yeah.
Whereas all these people on ESPN try to, and Jalen Rose like pushes it a little bit, but not even really. But like Chauncey Billups, Paul Pierce, they're still within this bubble of like, don't say something too crazy because like, then we're not going to bring you back on this shit.
Yeah, I think if anything, Durant helped Kendrick with this. So I see what you're saying in terms of don't feed the trolls because if Durant doesn't respond to this, then is it getting talked about?
No.
On every national television sports show?
No.
Starting tomorrow, it's going to get talked about again. You know what I mean? Like, it's so he didn't help. He didn't help himself by doing that because now Perkins is going to get some limelight. I mean, it was a weird comment to make, so that's why I don't hate Durant going back at him for it.
Yeah,
just own it. Just that's what you do, man. That's what you do. You go at people who go at you. Like you don't ignore people.
Do you think the Cavs coach said slugs or thugs?
I mean, he has a bad look on his part. He
terrible look.
He said thugs, man.
He definitely said thugs.
He meant thugs. How
do you even try to cover that one up and say that was like,
he had his team around him, and he's like, "Quick, guys, what rhymes with thugs?"
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, my assistant coach was brought to my attention after the meeting that I'd said thugs when clearly I was trying to say slugs." It's like, one, who even says slugs? Like, like who uses that? Like, I would just be like, you guys are moving slow as shit. Like you're trying to get away from this mold that you're an outdated old coach, but yet you want to tell people that you're using the word slugs. Like,
oh man, that's a bad look.
It happened with JJ Redick, and he tried to say this too. And I don't know, man, because he's such a well thought out, well spoken guy. It was like the Chinese New Year, and he was interviewed after the game or something, and he said the offensive Chinese word. I'm not gonna say it, but then afterwards, they really got on him because he said the word, and he was like, "I didn't mean to say that." I tried to say I was combining two words together, and it came out that way, and I was just like, come on, man. Your lie doesn't even sound like a lie right now. It's just...
See, I kind of believed him on that because I watched it over and over again. I'm like, I don't know. He's kind of struggling. He didn't know what to say, Yeah,
but how do you struggle and say the offensive word? I don't slip up and say the N-word or something like that. It's just it doesn't happen. That.
Well, you can now.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. I think he might have been thinking that word in his head and it slipped out and like he really said it. He didn't mean to say it, but he said it. And the same thing with Beeline. Maybe he was meant to say slugs, but was looking at a room full of people and was like, "You guys are playing like thugs." I don't know.
Which is like,
don't lie to us.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, that's a bad look. You know, if he could get past that, he could get past anything, though.
Yeah, but it's like, and that's why I love TNT the best, because it's like Chuck and all them were like, who even gives a shit what the guy said? Like, thugs, is that even a bad word now?
I agree with that a little bit, too. It's like, I know it's not my place at all to say if that's a bad word or not.
Yeah.
But I had that thought in my head, and I'm glad he said that. It's like, he didn't call him anything like derogatory. Like,
I feel like a thug could be a white person, it could be a black person, it could be a Hispanic person. It could be
anyone.
Yeah, it's not
How about Trick Daddy's song? Because baby, I'm a thug.
Yeah, like can we get mad at Trick?
Fire song, yeah.
I don't know.
Thug, you could just work hard, man. You could just be a dog in there.
That's and that's the point they made too. Is like thug was like that's a compliment. Like you're playing like a thug. You're playing tough.
You're playing like a thug, my G. That's what he's gonna say on the bench.
He should have. I don't know. All right. That's Sports Buffet. I'm gonna watch the rest of this. 2 minutes left. Packers are driving right now. I think if they kick a field goal, that'll be a 2-score game. So that would sort of do it for them. Anything else you wanted to add in?
No, that's it. I mean, we got one question about esports, but we gotta do our research on that before we answer anything, too concrete about that.
Some thoughts on esports, but we'll dive into esports next week and answer that question. But let us know any other questions. Hopefully we're right about our picks for Super Bowl, which we won't know next week, but we'll know the winner of Clemson LSU, so we could talk about that.
Bet the under and just die slowly tomorrow.
Bet the under. Let us know if you've ever moved down in a sporting event to a closer seat and if you're looking over your shoulder the whole time, because I know I am. Let us know what your favorite stadium giveaway is, because I'm curious if anybody else cares about bobbleheads. If you have any, give them to me right now.
Yeah.
Matt wants your gnomes. He wants
I'll
your
take the garden gnomes, yeah.
He's going to hold on to that Matt Harvey gnome right there.
I'm going to have to get a garden soon.
That's got to be a jinx on the guy. He probably hates that those are out there.
He looks a little chubby in it.
All right. Sports Buffet, let us know some questions. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.